Okay, so this is part 2. Part 2 is going to be about what they need to do instead of what they have done. Let's get right into it. The second tutorial should be a simulated game. Make it a player-based 1v1 in the bot lane. Start it off with a simple buy items and head to this spot. That spot being one of the bounty runes. This would be the best time to explain what bounty runes are. Once you grab the rune, it tells you to go back to your tower and wait for the wave. Now that the wave is here, it's going to wait until you hit about 60% health or mana and teach you about tangos, clarities, consumables in general. I feel like this is a better timing than before because you're in the situation in which you need to eat a tango or need to use a clarity. At 2 minutes, we're going to have him go get a haste rune and explain what that rune does, along with how specialty runes work in general. This time, instead of telling you to use a consumable, if you hit 30%, maybe higher, just in case, HP or mana, it'll tell you to go to a shrine and use it. That way they can know what shrines do. So once we get enough gold, we're going to have them buy a magic wand. There's 3 reasons for this. The first thing is to explain how building works in general. Too many new players don't know that you can build parts of an item and then complete it later on, such as, for the magic wand in this case, 2 iron branches, the magic stick, and a mango. The second reason is because you have an iron branch. The iron branch is perfect for explaining attributes. I say this because it just gives you one of all, 1 intelligence, 1 strength, and 1 agility. The third part is the side shop. You can buy the magic stick from the side shop, and that would be perfect to explain both that and the secret shop. I forgot one thing actually. You can have the courier bring the mango and the 2 iron branches to you. This way you can learn what the courier is, and it's an active item, not a consumable, so you can also learn what active items are. It's perfect. Other things that they could add is if your building is getting attacked, oh, hey, use your glyph button, right? Tell us what it is, same with scan, etc. By basing it on how the user is interacting with the game, it's going to be more teaching and less boring to that player. One side note is that the solo bot matches are actually kind of hard for new players. The AI likes to group up and dive you at the 1 minute mark. Make it so Tide is tanking the tower while Lion is stunning you left and right. Yeah. Let's keep it to a 1v1 bottom. Let's, as I said before, not scare them away. The third tutorial should be a normal bot game, but with quick tips. Instead of making you go use a shrine or a tango, it will suggest you use them. This is what I was saying before in the last video. Just give tips. Some examples of this is like, oh, you right-clicked an enemy hero. The creeps will show that they attack you, as they did in the first tutorial. And a tip will then tell you, be careful of right-clicking enemy heroes because the creeps will target you. When you die, show what spell killed you. Do an instant replay of sorts. How to fight that spell. Helps with something like Rupture. That's something that destroys new players. Simple things like that can go a long way in the first real bot match. Now, these cover the basics of the Dota 2 mechanics, but we still miss a lot of things. Things like aggro control, stacking, micro, etc. These things shouldn't be in a handheld tutorial, instead just have them as small videos that teach you what each thing is. Real simple 20-second tutorials. And to go a step farther, add training such as the last hit trainer. Not only would things like a stacking or puller trainer help new players, they also help old players, and even high level players will have something to do while they're waiting for a queue. The reason these shouldn't be forced is because a new player should strive to learn the game. Get them hooked on learning new things. Oh, I stacked this camp and I helped out the game. I had impact. Let's talk about some miscellaneous things that would also be very cool if they added. This one would be a bit harder to add and we wouldn't necessarily need it. But a simple hero tutorial that's more like an adventure would be cool. You would make it based off the lore or something. Of course, something like this would require a lot of modeling and stuff, so we could just have a simple training map. We would just have to make sure that each ability does something to continue the game. I'll make a real quick one based off a hard character like Meepo. So you start out as Meepo. It says, quick, use your Earth Blind to net that creature. Once you net the creature, you continue by poofing to a Meepo across impassable terrain. That Meepo would say something along the lines of, hey, poof to me, let's go get some gems. Once you poof to them, you can control both of the Meepos, and the game explains how to real quick. Once you get both the Meepos to an area, you have to kill some enemies, and that's when it shows you Geo Strike. Once you complete it, we could also have some tips on what to practice, such as chain netting. I am so happy they added Augs to the UI, but we are still missing some stuff. One of the best examples I like to use is Brewmaster. This man has an ult that separates you into 3 small elementals. We don't know anything about the elementals until we hold Alt. That's when we learn the Earth guy carries auras, the Fire guy has phase movements, in which order you'll respond from. We don't know any of their spells or their stats such as HP. It's crazy. Let us select some of the units that are made within the hero's kit, such as, Brewlings, or maybe Brood Spiders. I don't like having to go to the wiki for information. Another simple thing would be getting videos on spells. Getting a visual on a spell will always help new players figure out what's happening. Talents also need to explain themselves out of the game. You can only find out what Cataclysm is in-game. I have a question for you. Where are the neutral creeps on the Learn tab? I don't know. They could be right next to the items maybe. Again, how is a new player gonna know what golems do, for example? How much experience and gold they give? In order to play a hero like Chin or Doom, we should be able to find these things out in the client anyways. As I said before, I don't like having to go to the wiki for information. Please, just give it to us in the client. I won't lie, the item page is pretty good, but if we added the mini tutorial clips, then it could help players too. I mean, say they're reading about Lotus Orb and sees Dispel type basic Dispel. Let players click that and see a small explanation. Also, with leveling items such as Dagon, it's kinda hard to understand what they do. This is one of my favorite things about Dota that's never used. We need some of that good old-fashioned coaching. The system is in place, but we can't queue to help new players out. I know I would sure as hell queue every now and again to help a new player. The thing is, a lot of players wouldn't also do it. I basically said this 1,000 times in not the last video, but the video before that. We need to give incentives. It's just how you get them to keep playing and reward people for helping the community. Sure, the thing that would keep them around is the gameplay, but a skin or two you can grab would be bomb to a new player when they win their first match. I'll get into what I think about Dota Plus in the next video and how it could be changed for the better. Also, the Dark Willow video kinda got put on the sidelines. I would like to make it, but every time I get the chance, I don't like the way it turns out. Another thing is that I'll dive into some things with a bit more depths, like coaching at some point. Oh, last few things about the tutorial I put into example. Make it based off of the level the player selects. If I remember, you select a level whenever you come into Dota. If they're new, make them play the first tutorial on. If they have MOBA experience, make them play the second tutorial on. Needing a refresh? Just do the tip-assisted bot games, right? And if they know what they're doing, no need for the tutorial. Finally, this is important. Make sure the tutorial is idiot-proof, but not to treat them like one. So that's it for the 2 parts of the videos for now. As I like to say a lot, make sure you discuss in the comments. I love arguments, you could say. Anywho, that's it. As I said earlier in this video, the Techies Challenge is still going on if you would like to do that. Information in the description. $20 possibly. I think that's it. See ya.